It seems that we have a push to eat bugs, and I don't even know. I can't even eat snails or frogs' legs, let alone these things. Eat bugs and live in a pod. South African entrepreneur says caterpillars are a healthier option than steak in latest push to convince people to eat bugs. Is this a globalist push? They're trying to convince people to eat bugs now. Eating bugs is degrading, and that's why some are pushing them as a sustainable source of protein for, quote unquote, us peasants. The South African entrepreneur is innovating new ways of turning mopane worms into a flour to be used for protein bars and protein smoothies. Wenda Vesela, a chemical engineer behind the push for people to eat the caterpillar, said the bugs can also be used as pizza toppings instead of anchovies, I guess. Now, caterpillars, I know, even if you touch them, you can get a skin rash. So you're not even to touch them. You can't even get rid of them. You have to burn them off the trees. Well, to get them off the trees and then burn them. Now, AFP reported a startup entrepreneur from South Africa wants to change the way edible caterpillars, popularly known as mopane worms, are viewed and eaten. South African chemical engineer Wendy Wasela found ways of turning the spiky green and black caterpillars, which are packed with protein and iron, as she says, into a flour that can be used in savory biscuits, sweet chocolate, protein bars, cereals, or smoothies. I guess that she's been eating these, and she's telling us from her personal experience, question mark. The caterpillars are a healthier option of protein, she said. It's not a worm, so people have just to get over that fear. Vasila tried to woo reluctant customers with biscuits and protein bars at a recent food fair in Johannesburg's upmarket Stanton district. I won't eat a worm, I'm sorry, it's disgusting, but if you give it to me in the form of chocolate, it's really delicious, said Gail Odentau, 38 years old, walking away with a big bag of protein bars. Mopanes are environmentally friendly too, requiring no extra water or land, as they breed and feed on mopane trees, which grow in hot and dry regions of southern Africa. I guess you have to cultivate trees for these caterpillars to grow, right? So they'll be eating up the trees. Now, what can you say? They are a better source of protein than many other foods on the market, said dietitian Mpo Chukudu. She said it's high in protein and is in essential fats and minerals, especially iron. It has more iron than most expensive pieces of steak, she said. Last year at World Economic Forum promoted the EU's plan to use mealworms in food in their bid to reduce meat consumption. Now, as we said a couple of days ago, we talked about food plants mysteriously burning down, others closing down because they say it costs too much to run them. That's ridiculous because you can sell it to somebody or move somewhere else where the cost is not that expensive. And also we have these farmers in Holland that are closing down. The government is asking to close down. And the farmers there and the meat industry people are protesting. Now the globalist pushing for the peasants to eat bugs, weeds, and synthetic meat because bugs, quote, consume fewer resources than traditional livestock. Livestock around the world is responsible for around 14.5% of all greenhouse gas emissions relating to human activity. The need for land, whether for grazing animals or growing crops to feed animals, is the single largest driver of deforestation with major consequences for biodiversity loss, the paper said. I guess we're not supposed to eat anymore. Now the European Union will be using mealworms eaten whole or in powder form in food. The European Union, EU, has ruled that the larval stage of the Tenebrio molitor beetle, the mealworm, is safe for people to eat, and it will shortly be on the market as a novel food, according to what the WEF says. And the WEF article from 2016 says it all, quote, welcome to 2030, I own nothing, have no privacy, and life has never been better, end quote. What do you think? This is by Christina Leila on Gateway Pundit. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.